Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the American School of Hypnosis. And in today's video, I want to speak to you about creating a spirit room with us. I'm actually going to help to guide you through creating this spirit room, which is a space where your mind can go to escape, to relax, to meditate or unwind when you're a place where you're completely safe and no one can enter unless you allow them to. So we're going to do that in just a moment. But before we do, I want to explain to you a little bit about a spirit room, how it came about, uh, what you can do with it, and then we're going to go ahead and create it. So also, if you haven't been with us before, please go ahead and subscribe below the video. It will help us to grow and let other people know what we're doing, and we appreciate it. So, first of all, a spirit room is a safe place, like I said, inside your mind that you can use for so many things. Now, one of the main things we use it for now is when we do our contacting spirits guided sessions. Quite often, we'll do these guided sessions where you can invite anyone who has passed on, loved ones, or even people that you don't know that have passed on to be able to get advice, to be able to get closure, to just see what's going on. There's so many reasons you can do it for, but it's a great place to go where you're completely safe, where you can relax and basically just be with them. But when it first started, that's not what it was for. Of course, for those of you that have done hypnosis before, you probably realize that we go through, I guess you could say, trends or popular type things where for like a month you're doing smoking all the time. And if another month it seems there's a lot of people coming for energy, another month they're coming for abuse issues. And basically, this is what happened. This was many years ago. I was having all these people coming in for, let's say, smoking or weight loss, but they all had abuse issues that I noticed that were underlying factors for why they were there. So I decided to do something like this to create this spirit room to be able to help people to have a safe place to relax, to get away from it all, because especially when you're in an abuse situation, you don't know where to go or what to do. It's like you just feel, you're in a state of panic. So I created this room with the client so they had a safe place that they can resort to in their mind whenever they needed it. So that's what it's all about. That's how it started. Let's see, I had a few things I wanted to mention to you before we got going. Um, in creating this, as you're going through it, I'm going to ask you to relax in a comfortable spot where you're not going to be bothered for a little while. Now, this isn't going to be a hypnosis session. You don't really need a hypnosis session just to create a room like this, and I'm going to explain why. So, number one, hypnosis is not necessary. Number two, you don't even need to be able to relax. So, if your eyes are closed and you're saying, I'm not relaxed, it doesn't matter, okay? All that you need is an open mind, and you need to be able to use your imagination. Now, what we're going to be doing is be creating something in your mind. Basically, you're creating in the subconscious, which is also the spiritual world or the universal consciousness, or what I like to call the fourth dimension. It's important to understand that before you get started. Matter of fact, it's important to understand that when you're doing anything in your mind. You are a blended being. Think about that. You're a blended being, part conscious, part subconscious. So a part of you, one foot is in the physical world with this physical body and your five senses, but one part of you is still a spiritual being. Okay, spiritual being is where you can't see things. You're a being of thought, of energy. So you have one foot in both worlds. Now, notice I say both worlds. They are different worlds or different dimensions. Right now, your physical body, the part you're listening to me with right now, your beta brainwave state, is in the third dimension. You heard of 3D, there's all these different dimensions. So 3D is basically having depth. Okay, so you can go frontwards, backwards, up, down. Okay, it's a wonderful place to be. The fourth dimension is a different world where it's everything that we have in this 3D world, but it also has what they call the time space connection. In other words, there is no time in the fourth dimension. Over here in this world, we have past, present, future. There, it's only now. And the other thing is space, everything is right here. There's no distance. Here, if I want to go to, let's say, Romania, where Ruluk is from, I would have to fly for hours and hours. In the fourth dimension, I could just reach my hand out and grab something from someone's cupboard in Romania because there's no space. So it's different. Now, in the fourth dimension, there isn't physical things like we have here. Okay, so it's thought, energy. So notice I said thought. Your thoughts come from the ether. It's something you can't see, it's you can't touch. So thoughts, energy, all these different waves going through and everything, these are all four-dimensional things. You can't see them, you can't touch them, but they're there. So being a different world, sometimes you need to think differently. This world works according, and this is what I'm trying to get at. This world works according to your five senses. You can touch things, you can smell them, you can see them, you can feel them, and you can hear them. That's the three-dimensional world that you live in, the physical world. Those rules do not work in the world of thought. Okay. And if you don't believe me, okay, you can see a house, but show me your thought of the house. You see what I mean? You can think of something, but you can't show me your thought. So, in that fourth dimension, it works according to your sixth sense, not one of the five senses here. Those are all gone. Your sixth sense, which is imagination. And the reason I'm saying that is to be able to create the spirit room. Like I said, you don't need to relax. All you need to do is use your imagination. If you can imagine something, whatever you imagine in this fourth dimension or in this voidless substance immediately materializes in that world. That's not like this world. This world, you have to think of it and then you have to build it. So think of that. Every single thing in this world was created there first because thoughts become things. The TV set behind me, the computer, the microphone, everything in this room, someone had to think of four-dimensional thought. And then with this thought, they tried to make it in the third dimension, having the blueprints of everything from that world. And what you see here is the best that they can come up with, a secondhand representation of the original thought. So look at the Mona Lisa, the picture of the Mona Lisa. Okay. There's this lady who kind of like with a funny looking smile. But in the artist's mind, in the fourth dimension, it was a masterpiece, probably with rainbows coming off of it and music and excitement and all this emotion. But with the tools that we have here, that was the best that he could do. Even when you speak, everything that I'm saying right now, I'm thinking about it four-dimensionally, and it's coming out in the third dimension. This is the best that I can say. I want to say so much more because my mind is there. It's connected to so many wonderful things. If you could just see what's going on inside my head, I'd like to open it up and show you. It'd be wonderful, but you can't. So in the third dimension, you're seeing a secondhand representation of how I can relate to what I'm thinking of. Okay, so that's how it works. And the reason I'm getting out into all this is why are you teaching me all this? When we create the spirit room, I'm going to have you close your eyes and imagine this and imagine that. And you're going to say, I can't see it. I just don't feel it. Seeing and feeling are part of the third dimension. They have nothing to do with what we're doing. You're creating something in the fourth dimensional world. There's no see, there's no feel. So if you see it and feel it, that's good, but you're not even supposed to. Okay, you're just going to imagine it because that is the sixth sense. So I'm going to help you to use your sixth sense. You don't need to relax. You don't need to do hypnosis. You don't need to do meditation. If you can relax, hey, that's even better. But all you need to do is use your imagination. So you're creating a room that is real over there. Okay. And you're going to imagine memories that are real over there. Your five senses are real over here. I want you to understand the distinction. So if you understand that, Let's go ahead and have some fun now. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a safe place, okay? And it's going to help you to imagine safety as you're doing it. Now, notice I say imagine. Why do you need a safe place? Well, some people are scared to do spiritual work. There's nothing there that's going to harm you. As long as you believe you're safe, you're safe. Because remember, belief is real over there. The subconscious or the fourth dimension doesn't understand the difference between a real or an imagined thing. They are the same over there. So if you think or if you imagine yourself safe, you're safe. An example is when witches do their work or the Wicca, they create a sphere of protection around them. Okay, so this room will be your sphere. Sorcerers do a cone, which is like a big sphere, and this cone going right through the ground, almost like an ice cream cone. They feel they're safe. A lot of religionists will have a circle of people praying around them, and they feel that if they have that, they're safe. It's all imagined. The thought becomes the thing. And every one of them are safe. If you can imagine yourself with a body armor, like an invisible force field around your body that nothing can affect you, it would work for you because you're imagining it. So imagining it just helps you to believe it. And that's what this room is all about. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to go ahead and sit in a chair now. Sit comfortably, a place where you're not going to be bothered. If you can support your neck, go ahead, because we don't want you to be going like that the whole time, okay? And I'm going to have you just relax there, enjoy yourself. Try not to be interrupted. If there's people in the other room, close the door. Turn your telephone ringer off. Couldn't even think of the word for a minute. Okay, and let's go ahead and get started. So I want you to close your eyes right now and relax. And just closing your eyes, by the way, brings you 80% into the alpha brainwave state, which is the beginning of this realm. Just closing your eyes blocks out 80% of the busyness. So I'm going to have you take a deep breath. And just relax. And another deep breath. And one more deep breath. And we're just going to count from 5 down to 1. Ready? 5 as you relax and just let go. 4, leave all the busyness of the world out there. We'll be back in a few minutes for you to look at it. 3, deeper and deeper. 2, and finally, 1. You are now in the alpha theta area, the alpha theta bridge, which is where your mind is more open to suggestion than any other time. You can hear everything I say. And as we're doing the exercise, you might come in, you might come out, you might hear me, you might not hear me. It doesn't really matter. As long as you just use your imagination, that's all that matters. Now I'm going to have you create a room in your mind. And as I have you create certain things, remember you can create anything. Doesn't matter how expensive it is. Imagine you have an open expense account that you never have to pay back. And you're a magical being. As a magician, you can create anything, whether it exists, whether you've seen it before, or whether you're just creating it in your mind. So with that, imagine that right now you're in this big empty space, a big empty space with nothing in it, because you're going to create everything in it. And I want you to create right next to you in this space some kind of a chair or something you can sit in that would be more comfortable than anything you can imagine. It can be a recliner. It can be a big overstuffed chair. It can be a very comfortable office chair. It could even be a bean bag if you can sit in one of those, or a couch. So think of it. Use your imagination and imagine the most comfortable chair or couch or whatever you like to sit in. And this is what you're going to be sitting in when your guest comes in to speak to you, if you use it for that, or when you're relaxing or meditating. So what would you be comfortable doing this with? Now, once you've imagined that, I want you to imagine the floor underneath it. if you had this room, what would you like the floor to be made out of? It could be made of anything. It could be grass. It could be ceramic tiles. It could be wood. It could be concrete. It could be a fluffy cloud. What would you like to make the floor of? Really plush shag carpeting like years ago. Anything you want. Now I want you to imagine the walls around you. So think of the parameters of this room. How big do you want it? How small do you want it? It's your safe space. So don't worry about doors or windows right now. Just create the walls. Are they made of wood? Are they made of plaster? Maybe glass? Mirrors? Is it wide open like in a forest? Use your imagination and imagine what you'd like the walls to be made of. So now imagine yourself sitting in this chair on the beautiful floor with the walls you've made it. And imagine the ceiling above you. How tall, how high up do you want the ceiling? Do you want it really high up in the air? Do you want it low? Do you want it made of glass? Do you want it made of maybe the same thing as your walls, your sheetrock? You can have individual panels. You can have a huge palace type ceiling, or you can have it wide open to the sky if you feel safe with that. Think of what you'd like in the ceiling, and if you want any kind of special lighting in the ceiling, beautiful chandeliers, recessed lighting, any kind of lighting you want, maybe skylights, windows so you can get the sun in. Go ahead and imagine those too. So now you've completely created the parameters of your room. You have the walls, the ceiling, the floor, and the comfortable chair you're sitting in. So let's go back to the walls for a moment. Think about where you'd like to have a front door and create a beautiful, strong, secure front door. It can have a window in it if you want. It can have that glazed over type smoky window that you can't see through. It can have no window. It can be a solid, one of those really strong storm doors, whatever you like. So create that door in whatever wall seems convenient to you. And at the same time, if you want to create any windows to look out, go ahead and create those too. Any way you'd like to make them, any shape on any of the walls. And now look at the empty room around you. What kind of things would you like to have in that room to make it more relaxed, to make it more comfortable for you? I'm going to have you fill up the room with whatever kind of furniture you'd like, but refrain from making any kind of electronics, televisions, radios. We want to keep the electronics out of this room, make it a totally relaxing place. So maybe a coffee table. How about another chair? If you've only made a chair, you might need another one if you want to use it to entertain someone, or a couch. How about knickknacks on shelves if you want to put shelves on the walls? Do you like playing an instrument? And even if you don't, you can have a beautiful harp in one corner, a piano in another. If you like those, go ahead. Any kind of statues that you might like. So go ahead and spruce up the room. Create whatever kind of furniture and knickknacks that you'd like. Remember, you have an open expense account. You can create anything you want, no matter how much it costs. Even if it's something, oh, I'd like to make this, but I've never seen one before. Go ahead and create one using your imagination. Now, I'd like you to look around the room in your imagination and see everything that you've put there and memorize it as best as you can. As you look around, look at the walls and the ceiling and the carpet, the furniture, the knickknacks, even down to the personal items that you like to have around you. Look at the room and remember it so you can come back here anytime. And here's your key to coming back. If ever you become overwhelmed or stressed or just want to relax or meditate or reflect, all you need to do is take a deep breath. And as you exhale, just think to yourself, relax now. And you immediately come back to this room. Of course, you would close your eyes and you immediately come back to this room. You'll remember it immediately. Now, keep in mind, okay, this is your room. You can change it anytime you like. If you decide you don't like a wall and you want it wide open so you can see the ocean, go ahead and do that. If you want to change the room completely, you can. Or if you want to keep it exactly the same way, it's your safe space to create and change anytime you like. So commit it to memory so you can come back and remember just by taking a deep breath and saying, relax now. You'll come right back to this wonderful, safe place that you can use. In just a moment, I'm going to have you come back to the here and now and open your eyes and be totally relaxed, feeling wonderful in every way, especially now that you've created this room. You're going to feel energized and confident and just great for this day. 1, you're starting to emerge from this relaxed state. 2, feeling wonderful and confident. 3, your eyes are starting to open. 4, coming all the way back. And 5, eyes wide open, fully awake and feeling fine. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your room. And if you'd like to leave in the comments what it looks like, remember, this is your private room. You're welcome to do that so others can see what you created. And you don't have to if you don't want. Like I said, it's yours. And I want you to remember that, just in case you weren't paying attention too much when your eyes were closed, to come back to this room, all you need to do is take a deep breath. And as you exhale, simply say to yourself, relax now. Once your eyes are closed, relax now. And you'll immediately come back to this room that you can use for meditation, for reflection, to get away from the world if you're overwhelmed, if you're scared and you just need a place to go to. And like I said before, one of the things I like to use this room for most of all is to contact spirits. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is I want to let you know that since we're getting close to Halloween, and of course, many of you have heard of the Day of the Dead in the beginning of November, the first couple of days of November, what we're going to be doing is we're creating a guided imagery night where you're going to be able to use this room, if you like, to be able to contact spirits. Yes, it's going to be this Friday night at 7 p.m. You'll see the link right below this video. So this Friday night at 7 p.m., we're going to be conducting a group guided imagery session, helping you to cross over to go to the other side, to the fourth dimension, or to the spirit world, to be able to contact a past loved one, a friend, or anybody you like. And you'll be able to invite them in this room, sit with you, and just learn from them, ask any questions, get closure, learn more about yourself. You could even invite your spirit guide or spirit animal, whichever you believe, whichever is close to you, and speak to them. So it's going to be a fun night being done in a group on Zoom. So if you'd like to register and attend, we're going to be doing this, like I said, on Zoom. Go to the link below this video. It's actually on our What's New page. And it's the top item on our What's New page. And you'll see right below, we're already starting to talk about our Halloween Spooktacular, which is coming up Friday. And we get some huge sales coming up then. So that's what I have for you. If you can attend, I'd love to see you there. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see other guided imagery type videos like this, let us know in the comments and let us know how you did with this one. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I look forward to seeing you, like I said, also, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye now.